was going to read your cards, but I made you this little, this is your natal wheel, natal chart for astrology, because there's a lot of neat things going on. This is your rising sign in your first house, and your rising sign is Libra. Your sun sign, of course, is Gemini, you know that. And this little rock here, that's the transiting sun, see? Anyway, it's over there conjuncting your sun, and you've got a lot of stuff there for it to bump into. So you're going to have a lot of activity in your ninth house here, PDQ. Okay, so your ninth house has to do with religion, law, science, and higher education. Also has to do with distant travel and foreign concerns. It indicates your ability to conceptualize and raise your consciousness. So it's a house of learning and teaching, which, makes sense for you, seeing as, you did the teacher deal. I thought you were a good teacher. But anyway, it represents philosophy and new ideas and social belief systems. And you've got a lot of planets in there, and the sun's going through there right now, so it'll touch on a lot of those. But the sun's real fast moving. It goes through the house, or through a sign once a month. It's not as fast as the moon. The moon goes clear around the whole thing once a month. But, yeah, the moon's in your third house right now. By the time I get this uploaded, it'll probably be over in the sixth house or some silly thing. But anyway, that's where it is. Mercury's right here. It's going to be going into your ninth house here directly because it moves really swiftly too. The big shake-up right now, well, as far as astrology in general goes, is Uranus is going into the astrological house of Taurus, which happens to be in your 8th house. Right now it's in your 7th house of the marriage thing, but it's going to be going into your 8th house, PDQ, and it's going to be touching off, because you have so many planets that are right there at the beginning of things, and so many houses that are right at the beginning of the signs. It'll touch off a lot of things. And Uranus is a planet of big, startling changes. So you're going to have some real shake-ups. But it's going to be going retrograde, and then it'll be going direct again. So it'll be retrograding back into your 7th house. Well, it's in your 7th house still. But it'll go backwards. It'll appear to go backwards. And you'll have to redo things in your 7th house, and that's your house of like marriage and partnerships and whatnot like that. Also, Mars is over here, and it's going from your 4th house of home and your home and your background to your family and all that, where you also have a few other planets going through. Jupiter's in there. So Mars is going to be going direct into your 5th house, and then it'll be retrograding and then going direct again. But you'll have to redo some things there too. Probably, I don't know, you might get another house to buy or something. Who the hell knows? But that's about, Jupiter's in your 2nd house, so your house of finances is expanding. Or you might be doing something different to make money. But anyway, you got a really good natal chart. You could have done about anything you wanted to do, and you still can. Anyhow, that touches on it a little bit. Let you know a little bit about what's going on. If you want to know more, I'll do some more on it. But let me know. You can read them here. This is your moon, this is Pluto, this is Saturn. If you want to look them up, you can. If you don't have to, of course. Neptune's in your 1st house. Jupiter's in your 4th house, which makes sense. Let's see, what else do you have? Well, you can read them. You can look them up. Mars is here, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, all the good stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it set up and do your cards. Anyway, I thought you might be interested in this. That's kind of fun to do. I'll be back in a minute. Probably sooner than that for you. Okay. I can't leave office quite yet. Alright. Jupiter's expansion, no matter where it's at. Right now it's in Scorpio. That's your second house. Your second house is your house of finances, your house of money. That's where you earn your living and all that good stuff. And you don't have any planets in it. But right now you have Jupiter transiting it. I think Jupiter's like every couple of years it goes through. Let's see. Right now it's retrograde and 15 degrees Scorpio. So that is well into your second house. But even retrograde, Jupiter's a good planet and it'll go direct for too long. The only thing is be careful not to overextend yourself. Don't overexpand too fast. But you really shouldn't have that much trouble with it because you have Saturn up here. And it's in Capricorn. It's 7 degrees Capricorn. So it's just now, it's piddling around right at the very first of your 4th house. So with this at 15 degrees and then this at 7 degrees, Capricorn, you've got them about 60 degrees apart is what's going on. So Jupiter's sextiling Saturn. Saturn is more of a planet of contraction. But actually what it does, what Saturn actually does is solidifies. It's a firm foundation. It makes things solid. It's a base of everything, and it keeps everything stable, pretty stable. It stops everything. If you have it at a bad aspect, it'll try to slow things down. Like if it aspects, if it's in opposition to Venus, this is Venus, it will slow down your Venus in your love life. And it is in opposition to, well, let's see, where is Venus at? Venus is at 11 degrees. So it just went by its opposition to it. But yeah, that affected probably your emotions. It probably put a lid on some of your more emotional thoughts. And being in your 10th house, well, that's where it would probably affect it. Is your 10th and your 4th house. Okay. Well, and you've got Pluto. Now this is Pluto, and it's a real slow, super slow moving planet. It takes forever to get anywhere. It just piddles around. But it's also in Capricorn, and it is permanent transformations. It'll permanently transform things when it goes through. But it's ponderous. It's very slow. I don't know how long it takes to get through things, but it's slower than Uranus. Uranus takes like 7 or 8 years to get through a sign. So it's going to be transiting your 8th house for 7 or 8 years. Excuse me. That means it'll be conjuncting your Mars. What do you think? Well, it should have already done that. I'll have to check on that. No, it's later on in your chart. My bad. Mars is later on. Mars is in Taurus in your chart. That gives you a real earthy energy. So nice. Anyway, that's what's going on basically. I don't know. I could probably go on with more stuff, but that's enough for now. Okay, let's see if we can get the cards.